Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? This is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas with his inspirational morning walk. I'm just about 5 minutes late here because I'm going to work and I had to find a safe place to pull over to get this word out, man. There's no excuse. I got to get this word out regardless, man. When God asks you to do something, you just got to do it. There's no excuses. You don't accept no excuses. So I just find a safe place here, pull over, and I'm going to get this out before I go on, man. For those who don't know, I got my own business, and right now I'm overseeing a project here where we do great flooring, man. All the floor care, carpet cleaning, floor stripping and waxing, tile grout cleaning, all the kind of stuff. You got your flooring, we'll take care of it. So right now I'm overseeing this project where we're doing entire hospital, doing all the floorings. So I'm heading there, but I'm gonna stop, pause a little bit, and get this out, and then go on my way, man. But this is Gregory Wiles. For first time listeners, I just get some exercise in the mornings and I just share my thoughts with you guys. Whatever I'm inspired to talk about that day, I will share with you guys. So today, what I want to do today, I was supposed to go on the whole series what we're doing and explaining those abominations. I think we did divination last Friday, and then what we did on Monday, we took on the next one. I think familiar spirits, right? We did familiar spirits, and then today I said I would get into that Saul story, which kind of explains the whole familiar spirits, divination, and and necromancy. But I divert a little bit because someone had made a request and asked me to shed some light on a different topic, which I'll do today. And I know from my experience, and I get a request for something, it's a lot of people. That one person is speaking for a lot of people. So I'll shed some light on this. Now that the COVID whole thing is dying down and people getting back to traveling a lot now, this person say, hey, you know what? They had a certain experience and they want me to shed some light about, hotel rooms and when we go into hotel rooms and stuff like that, you know, educate people on blessing those rooms and all the good stuff there, right? Because God promised us a sweet sleep. He promised us a sweet sleep, right? So if we go and we put our head down at night, we should get having a sweet sleep, right? Because these hotel rooms and everything, this is not to scare no one. Because I can get you scriptures here and everything, and we're gonna support and talk on what we say, man. But when we did that curse things, right? You remember when we talk about that curse things? The people who listen to this. Who don't know, go back on the YouTube and look at the curse things. I think I did it in 2 or 3 parts. A curse things. Good morning, Marcy Michael. Good morning. When we did about a curse things and bringing a curse things into your home, and we take the story about Achan, right? You remember in Joshua 6:18 when they was going in the promised land, and God tells Joshua to tell the people, but this is Joshua 6:18. He said, but keep away from the devoted things or the accursed things, so that you will not bring about your own destruction by taking any of them. Otherwise, you will make the camp of Israel liable to destruction and bring trouble to it, right? So what I was saying, don't bring accursed things into your home. Anything that was devoted, anything that, because he said these people in this land that I'm driving out, they did so much iniquity, so much the worship of the devil, all those things that they devoted and take part in the ceremonies and the idol worship, all those things are accursed, right? So he's saying you bring it into your home, in simple words, you got the devil's property in your home, and he got the right to visit your home because you got his goods in his house, and he got the right. That stuff becomes like a portal for demonic activity. So we talk about that, right? We talk about bringing the accursed thing in your home. I went into length about that. Like I say, you could go back and listen to that if you didn't If you don't know what I'm talking about, if this is the first time you hear him, you could go back on YouTube and look at that. But this is the opposite what we're talking about, like these hotel rooms, because a lot of times these hotel rooms, some of these people, when they have the little rituals to perform, they have these little ceremonies where they're worshiping the gods. They might go and rent a hotel room or rent a couple of rooms in the hotel, and they did all of these celebration in these rooms. So just like the accursed things, that room now becomes a portal. The room becomes a portal. The room becomes a place where the enemy is free to operate, because that person, a human being just like ourselves, invite them there, right? So instead of you bringing the accursed thing in your home, you going to an accursed space, right? So sometimes you might be in certain hotel rooms you go in, it might be far and few, but you might go in there and then you might have really bad dreams, really nightmare, or you might, what you experience what they call sleep paralysis, where you're kind of conscious and you're seeing stuff around you, but something kind of pinning you down, holding you down, and you can't speak, you can't move, you can't do nothing, but you're conscious of what's going on. That's what they call sleep paralysis. And like in some of the islands, they call it you being hagged, right? But because you don't know what happened in the room with previous guests. But you don't need to be afraid. You don't need to be scared. You don't need to be nothing, right? Because here why. Remember God said in Luke 10:19, right? Luke 10:19. He said, "Behold, I give you the power to tread upon serpents and scorpions and over all the powers of the enemy, and nothing by any means shall harm you," right? So you got to remember, we got that power, right? We got that power. And it's a good practice if you're buying anything. Good morning, Jillian. Morning, big sis. If you're buying anything, you can go, like you say, you go to these hotel rooms. It's a good practice to pray over the room before you go in, when you go into it, right? Pray over it. Because remember what God's saying. He gave us the power to tread on the scorpion. This is evil forces, right? To tread on the serpents and the scorpions and over all the powers of the enemy. He gave us that power. So all we got to do is use the power. We don't need to be afraid. We don't need to be afraid. We need to use the power. And hear what he said in Proverbs 3:24. Proverbs 3:24. He said, "When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet," right? It was talking about if you go back up in this proverb here, it's talking about the knowledge of God. He said, by his knowledge, the watery depths were divided and the clouds he's saying by God's knowledge has created all this world. And if you got the knowledge now, when you lie down, you should not be afraid of anything, right? Because you got the knowledge now that you got this power over the enemy, so you shouldn't be afraid, right, to use it. So when you go in, these are good practice when you go in hotel rooms. We traveling, we going back, we moving around, we traveling. You go in there and you use God's word against him. You say, "God, right now I come before you. Your word in Luke 10:19 telling me I have the power to over all the enemy. So I use the power now. Any incantations, any demonic celebrations, any spells that were cast in this room, I cancel them. I silence their power right now in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name, I cancel it. I deem it none and void. It shall not harm me. It shall not affect me in any way." And your word said in Proverbs 3:24, "When I lie down, I will not be afraid, because I have this knowledge that I can trample over them. So I will not be afraid." Your word said, "When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet," Father. So I am asking you right now to give me the sweet sleep that you promise here, and no evil force shall by no means harm me or cause my sweet sleep not to be sweet, right? You frame your prayer how you want to frame it, but throw it back his word to him, right? So you go, you bless the room, and you go on, you lie down, you sleep. You buy especially you're buying these used vehicles, you buy used cars, whatever you're buying, you pray over it, break any kind of curse over it, break any kind of spell, break any kind of thing over it. You don't need to be afraid. You got the knowledge. You just need to use the knowledge. You see, that's why God's saying, My people perish for the lack of knowledge, right? Because when you don't know your right, like if you got something, you go on the street, you don't know the laws, you go in a different country or whatever, you don't know the laws, you're scared, you want to drive on the road, you don't even know, you're nervous, right? Because you don't know the laws, you don't know if you're doing the right thing, you don't know if you're doing the wrong thing, or you got a car, you don't know to drive it, you don't know what is a stick shift, you don't operate it properly, you go on the road, you're nervous, right? Because you don't have the knowledge necessary to operate the vehicle or to operate in that environment where you're in. So you're going to be nervous, you're going to be scared. It's just like this here. We're going to be scared. Christians is going to be scared if they don't have the knowledge, they don't know the authority that they have. They don't know the authority that God gave us. You'll be scared and you'll be nervous. And you hear about a haunted house and you hear about these things. When you hear about haunted houses and all of that stuff, and a lot of these movies depict, oh, somebody get murdered in this house and this whole family get killed and the spirits there and this. No. Their spirits in doing nothing. According to the knowledge in the Bible, the dead knows nothing. They can't come back here to do nothing. The story, but Lazarus and the poor man when they go to heaven, that story clearly tells us nobody that dead ain't coming back down here to do nothing. So that's not the reason for those haunted houses that people get murder in it. It's how that murder happened. How? What's the cause of that murder? If the murder was happened by any kind of ritual means or these people were sacrifices to devils. It's just like the hotel room where these people go and do the stuff in. Now that house becomes that portal. That house is going to attract demonic activities. That's what's going to make it haunted. That's when the evil forces tell themselves, I run this turf right here, right now. This is my turf. And anybody coming here, I have the right to harass them because this is my turf. Human beings give me the right to operate in here. Human beings call me up. They did sacrifices to my God. So this is my turf. They dedicate this to me. This is my turf. So that's why you have haunted houses and all these kind of things. It's not because people who get killed there and their spirits ain't doing nothing. They're gone wherever they go. Either they're gone to heaven or hell. They have no more portion on this earth, as the scriptures tell us, right? But as if it's dedicated, if it was a sacrifice killing, what was the reason for those murders and all that? And it don't have to be a murder. People could go and like I said, do the sacrifices, the celebrations, have the ceremony in the house, or the people previously before you who had owned the house, they were into the devil worship and they do all the stuff in there. And you're gonna find different things, seeing things moving, hearing noises, stuff holding you down, having really terrible dreams and all that, right? So I just want someone to ask me to shed the light on this, and I think I just need to shed the light on it. But the bottom line is you don't need to be scared. The next one I like to use here is my favorite, Psalms 23. The entire Psalms 23. Psalms 23 I like, but this part here in Psalms 23:4, it says, Ye do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, thy comfort me, right? Even if you walk through the valley of the shadow of the death, you gotta fear no evil. Fear no evil, right? For thou art with me. So you don't be afraid. You live right. Do your stuff, man. Follow God's law. And the enemy ain't got no power over you. You got all the power over him. You got all the power over him, right? So as we going on vacations, as we buying stuff, as we moving around, just get in the habit of blessing stuff as before you use it. You go in any space, you bless it. You don't know what happened in there previously. But you use the authority given to you to neutralize any evil force in there. You neutralize it, you cancel it, and it shall not harm you by any means. Because God gives you the authority to trample over all evil forces. Right? So use the practice as you go about. It's just like, you remember, it's like the accursed thing. Instead of you bringing a cursed thing that was take part in that ceremony into your home, you're actually going into the space where those things become a curse. So that space now is like the accursed thing too. It can attract that demonic activity, because a human being is who gave them the right. A human just like ourselves. There's no manifestation take place. A lot of manifestation when a human agrees with the spirit. That's manifestation. Just like how we agreeing with God's word and those things happening for us, all God's promises. We agree with him, he working on our behalf. The same way when these people agree with the devil and watchmen, they're bringing this demonic stuff into operation and giving them the right to do things, because we're human. We got to understand the authority we have on this earth. We got to understand we run things in this earth. Anything happening in this earth, we got to invite it. Human beings have that authority, whether we invite the power of God to operate on this earth or whether we invite the power of the devil. We got that power, that type of power God give us. But we just got to be careful how we use it, right? We got to be careful how we use it. Instead of use it to do good instead of evil. But if people use it to do evil, remember, death and life is in the power of thy tongue. Death and life is in the power of thy tongue. So just like how they use words to bring up those incantations, you can use words, God words, which is his sword, to cancel it and neutralize it and cast it out of that space or whatever it is, right? So guys, it's nothing to be scared of. You go about, enjoy your vacations, enjoy what you're doing, but just use the authority that you have. Miss Patricia Blackman, thank you for catching me live today. But yes, use the authority that you have. Anything you buy a vehicle, you pray over it, break any kind of spells, incantations, anything over it, any curses over it before you use it. You go in and you buy a new house, do the same thing. Like you go in these hotel rooms, you do the same thing. Anything you own, you bring it in your house, even if people give you gifts. It's a good practice. It's a Christian good practice. You don't know, right? You just break anything over it, break any curses over it before you bring it in your home, right? So I'm going to leave that there. Like I said, on Friday, I'll get back to the series what we're doing. I'm going to take on one more of those abominations. Like I said, I can continue with the Saul story, and we can continue taking on those abominations and explaining them. But like I said, today I just divert a little bit because someone asked me to shed a light on this particular subject because they had their own experience and they want me to educate people more about this, and it is real and we need to take this serious. So I did that today, so that's why I diverted a little bit today. Cindy Anderson, good morning. Thanks for catching me, guys. Thanks for catching me live today. But anyhow, guys, I'm gonna leave it there and we can pick it up on Friday again, right? Have a blessed day, and just remember the authority that God gave us. Just use it. Don't be afraid. Just use the authority that's given to you. Okay then, talk to you guys on Friday. Goodbye.